Welcome back. Today, the federal civil rights trial of a former Louisville police detective linked to the death of Breonna Taylor is set to begin. Brett Hankison is charged with violating Taylor and her neighbor's civil rights during that deadly raid in 2020. He has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Hankison was the only officer who faced state charges in connection with the raid. He was acquitted on all 3 counts last year. Civil rights attorney and former prosecutor, NBC News legal analyst Kristen Gibbons Feden joins us now with a closer look at this case. Kristen, thanks for being here. So let's walk through this. Prosecutors don't believe Hankison fired the shots that struck Taylor. So how do prosecutors believe he violated her civil rights? Why is he the one here?
Well, the reason he is here, and good morning, Savannah, is because he is charged with 2 counts of deprivation of the rights under color of law. So they violated Breonna Taylor and her neighbor's rights, civil rights, by firing indiscriminately and recklessly into the house. Now, even though the bullets did not lead to the fatal blow, it doesn't matter because he used an unconstitutional amount of excessive force when there was no legal objective for him to utilize that type of force.
So, Kristen, walk us through what we're hearing from both sides in this and also what type of punishment he would be facing if he were to be found guilty.
Well, the prosecution is going to argue that Hankison violated both Breonna Taylor and her neighbor's civil rights. And because Breonna Taylor is no longer here, it's going to be easy to show that he violated her civil rights, even though he didn't fire that fatal blow, because they're going to need to show that he recklessly used an excessive amount of force when there was no legal objective. Now, on the other hand, the defense is going to argue that there was a legal objective, that he heard something going on and that he fired because he was trying to protect his fellow officers who were inside of Breonna Taylor's residence at that time. But, you know, these are very serious charges because Breonna Taylor is no longer with us and because she died as a result of the whole episode. Hankison could face a maximum sentence of life in prison if he is convicted. And the other charges, he could face a maximum of 20 years and some with 5 years. But those are very serious charges with a very serious punishment.
So, Kristen, just in case our viewers are confused, because obviously this story has been out there for a while, but we also have seen Hankison already found not guilty in the past on different charges in this deadly raid. How does this differ, and will last year's case have any impact on this federal civil rights case? Walk us through the differences between the two.
Sure. Well, on the state case, he was charged with 3 counts of felony wanton endangerment. And that was with the state case. And like you said, he was acquitted. But those state charges, specifically that wanton endangerment, pertain to the reckless conduct that posed a threat to others, while the federal charges are really grounded in civil rights violation and the use of excessive force. So you have both two legal frameworks, but they really do have many similarities because they truly evaluate the legality of Hankison's actions during that incident. So even though you look at it through 2 different legal lenses, they really are similar. But in terms of the impact, the acquittal on the state charges could really present an evidentiary hurdle, I think, for the federal prosecutors, just to demonstrate that legal narrative, because they're really kind of showing very similar, complex legal factual considerations.
All right, Kristen Gibbons Feden, thank you very much for joining us on this. We'll keep an eye on it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.